All right, welcome to the latest webinar. So, if you've been to these before, you know how they go. I will just talk a lot and then bring other people in. But I'm excited because I'm doing this one with people that you might not know because they are kind of newer to the Canadian market. They do a lot of business in Europe. They work with some of the big franchises out there. And they actually originally reached out to me and we started talking. And they got kind of a cool product and they actually have results to back it up, which is a big thing with me. So like I vetted them and they showed me some of the clients they're working with in Canada and I hung up and luckily when they told me who their Canadian people were, I knew them already. And so I just picked up the phone and called them. So we vetted them and then we decided let's do a webinar, kind of talk about it. So we have Ira and Yarko. So they are the CEO and CTO of Serviceform. So we're going to be talking. So maybe before we kind of dive into kind of the stuff you guys have been doing to get the results that we talked about, maybe just like a quick, history of the company and where you guys have been.
Do you want to
Yeah.
go first?
Well, I could do a very quick intro and then and then we could tell a little bit about the story, I guess.
Yeah.
Thanks, Andrew. It's very nice to be here because it's very new for us with the Canadian market. Of course, we're working with a few customers in the market, but if I compare it to like what we've been doing over the last 5 to 7 years, it's very new. But yes, for everyone else, I'm Iranti Gomez and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Serviceform. So Yark and I've been running Serviceform for the last 7 years. And a fun fact is also that we are married. So our specialty is basically that we help real estate businesses grow from their website. So we again, like I mentioned, quite successful in the European markets, and we worked with over 1,500 companies and growing really fast there. But now, what I'm very excited about being here today is that Canada is something that we've been thinking about because we looked at websites very similar of how things work and as a company in general, because when we started it was just the two of us, and now we are about 70 people overall, and we're just very curious to learn about. We've learned so much about how the European market works when it comes to real estate, and we've gone very deep with the integrations, the marketplaces, the portals, everything you need to know. And now we are very excited to learn about Canada. So we know how AI works, how AI can be used for real estate, how a lead generation, a chat solutions work, but we just want to learn more about the market in general. I'm looking forward that this could be an opportunity for that.
And very quickly, hello. My name is Jarkko. I'm the other half, more of the nerd. So my goal is to build stuff that makes sense. And recently, in the last year, it has been very much to do with AI. So I've been actually doing a lot of things with Google, and we actually had a baby event with them in Stockholm, very close to Gemini. So I know a lot of things about there. And my goal is to bring stuff that actually works into the market that we can prove with results. And ideally, now that the AI trend is here, that we'll do a lot of things around that. So if you have any questions around how to use AI as an agent, how to use it for your brokerage, just feel free to drop those in the chat and I'll be able to dig through my personal knowledge base from my brain and try to give you some good answers.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I like about you guys when we were looking at kind of setting this up is that you're very open just to changing things, making things work, working with people. 'Cause, like, you get a lot of vendors who come in and are just like, "Hey, I have this thing, deal with it," and there's no like adjustment. So like kind of maybe to start, like when we're looking at kind of what you guys are doing in Europe with people, like where have you seen the best results with some of the agents you're working with over there?
So we've been working very much on the boutique sort of agent websites and somewhere where they don't have so much resource to put into their website, that you just have something up, but then you have a lot of people who visit. You have a lot of people who visit your social media, but then you don't have anything that engages with you there, and that's
Yeah.
where we've seen like the most amount of value for money. So our prices are
Yeah.
good, and then we have seen that the conversion rates are very high on those types of websites.
Yeah, and that's one
Yeah,
of the things that kind of intrigued me the most is like the conversion rates that you're seeing as a bump on websites, because that's what so many people struggle with.
Yeah, so those are I can share. We have a nice document. So we worked with around that 800 real estate websites. So we have very nice numbers also to share, like what other people are in general on average, what kind of
Yeah,
numbers they're getting on their website. So we
yeah,
can go through a lot of those a bit later, But yeah, the numbers are so that it makes sense to invest. A lot
yeah,
of people are, a lot of us are leaving a lot of value on the websites.
yeah,
yeah. One thing to add to that is also that which a lot of people don't see is, if you walk into a real estate office, someone comes in the door, you get up, you say, hi, hello, how can I help, right? And then the conversation starts. But usually what happens with websites, it's practically the same thing. People would visit, but then if there's no way for them to be engaged, there's no a welcome message. No one says hi. It's just a visitor, stumbling around, going to random pages, trying to find what they're looking for. So this is the same thought process we've introduced onto the website. So people, would be welcomed, engaged, and they can find what they're looking for.
And I'm curious because like a lot of people have like chatbots on their site or different things like that. What have you found that has like gotten people to actually engage with yours? Because like I've seen a lot on sites. I haven't seen as many that have like the high engagement level. So that's why I was curious, like where have you guys kind of learned that gets people to actually start engaging with it?
Maybe that is something that I could actually show my screen very quickly because you can see it
Yeah,
at the same that I'm showing. So we have gone very deep into doing something which is personalized. So as you go around the website, you will have different experiences based on what page you're on and what thing you're looking at. And then, for example, here is we have um, Gail welcoming us to her property. And if you go through the flow, the lead will go to her and she will be able to manage. We can also link this directly to her WhatsApp. We can link it directly to the iMessage or SMS. And she can also have an app where she answers straight away, but most agents don't have the time, so they just want the lead into their favorite CRM. And again, where we have gone very deep into the real estate world is that we integrate to pretty much everything that you work with. So
yeah.
even in Canada already, we are working with quite a few of the CRMs that people use in the market. So all of that is sort of done from the box, and the idea is that we create these kind of automatically popping up conversations that generate the interest of the user in a different way.
I know when you see a pop-up like that, I mean, I always hated pop-ups. You want to close them. But the weird thing is with like trying this out on like with like 800 real estate websites and over 1,500 websites overall, it works for some weird reason. Like people do engage with it.
Yeah, like when I look at that, like I would assume part of it's like the photo of the agent on it, simple options to start, because like a lot of them is just kind of that open-ended, what do I type into it? So it's like
Yeah, so
that clean entry points needed, because that's where we found if there's an open-ended entry point, it makes it harder for people to actually get started.
and very important is those things change per page. Like we see a lot of
Yeah,
chat tools. It's like you have one thing in the bottom, and then it's the whole same thing for the whole website. And when
yeah,
someone is looking at property, you want to engage about that thing.
yeah,
So, for example, like we want to change the buttons based on the name, and we'll have a couple of nice examples we
yeah.
can show towards the
And
later stage.
I'm curious from because like the big thing with I know when we work with realtors on kind of getting leads, it's when is that handoff happening from kind of the tool to the person? So like when have you found is that right time during the conversations? Is it like asking them if they want to talk to someone, or is it like offering a download, or like where's that handoff typically happening, you find?
So what we have basically seen is like we have been speaking to so many real estate companies, right? So
Yeah,
what worked is that we mapped out the offering. So when mapping out the offering is like identifying what are your key outcomes as a business that you
yeah,
want. It's usually either buying a property, renting one, or selling one, or you wanting to apply to become an agent with a
yeah,
team of agents. I don't know if I'm using my terminology right, because
yep.
in Europe it's all one set of
Yeah,
terminology, but Andrew, you've been uh, uh, helping us with that lately.
yeah,
But anyway, if I'm wrong, just do feel free to correct me.
yeah,
So having having that particular call to action actually very much helps you identify what is it that you want. And based on that, we ask a few questions, which goes into a flow, which is very click based. Like you said, people don't want to type, like they don't have that energy. You just need to give them the options of what is it that they want. They click, and in the end, they would just enter their contact information. And at that point is when it's sent to the right agent. There was also
Yeah.
this one issue which we identified, that when leads coming through a website, it's sent to like a middle person who then distributes. And then it would take a while for the real estate company to call the customer to say, hey, you were interested. By that point, they've already been shopping around with other real estate companies looking at properties. So you want to be very fast. So with that, that's where we saw if the lead goes direct to the relevant agent who's, responsible for the property,
Yeah.
perfect. They
And
would get
I
it very
and
fast.
I ideally with iMessage or WhatsApp so that they can just click on a button and call or into their CRM, but then there's that whole that you need to log in and that. So
Yeah.
as the faster you can call in any business, the better.
Yeah. And what have you found, like, where'd you say, like, when people start? Because, like, I always know when there's some tries a new product, there's kind of those initial hurdles they gotta get over. When someone integrates a tool like this into their site, what do you find are kind of the biggest roadblocks they have between like just putting it on and now I'm getting consistent leads from it?
I think that depends a lot on the size of the company. So if we are talking about single agent websites, everything is quite simple. You just choose we can do it completely for you, or you can do it yourself. We have both models, but if you do it yourself, you just pretty much make a couple of flows from a template, you put your email, and everything works. But
Yeah.
then the big issue is that when you have a big brokerage or a big agent website with a lot of traffic, and then you
Yeah.
want to do this kind of routing, we want to do this kind of automations with SMS or WhatsApp, or you want to do some booking calendars or these kind of
Yeah.
things. That's where we really see that it helps that we have the experience from doing this hundreds and
Yeah.
hundreds of times because it gets very difficult, not just for our tool, but in general to uh,
Yeah.
think about these kind of things. And I saw that there's a commercial. Yes, we have Comreal, which is a global real estate, commercial real estate as well. Anything that if you want leads on your website,
Yeah.
is pretty
Yeah.
much where we push it.
Yeah, like for people for maybe aren't familiar with Serviceform, they also work with like car dealerships. So like what I like about them is like they're very niche to like service-based local businesses because a lot of companies that kind of pitch us to talk about them through REM, they're like e-commerce and it's not relevant the same way. Like they're working with similar people and have results to back it up, which is why we are willing to do this webinar with you. Because we like talking about things where there's actually results behind it. So what would you say would be the average conversion rate you're seeing for your real estate clients who have tools like this on their website?
Let me just pull that up so we can talk about numbers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, da, da, da. Here we have where we have it here. Yes. So if I just look at the numbers, so these are roughly, it depends so much on the website traffic because if you
Yeah.
are a big website where you have more like a marketplace, like people come to
Yeah.
search and compare and do these kind
Yeah.
of things, then we can see it's around this kind of interaction rates. And
Yeah.
then on the boutique ones, then we get to somewhere around this number. So roughly, if I just take this into if you right now have a boutique website, we will give you 1% more out of your traffic as leads. And that is
Yeah.
like a clear promise that we can deliver. And most of the times it's more than that. So saying that if you right now get out of 100 people, you get one, we will give you another one. That is like
Yeah.
the rough. And then the bigger you get, the more you probably have optimized your website. You have done a lot of your
Yeah.
website is good, but if you haven't had the time, then the difference is much bigger. But in the bigger ones also, it's somewhere around like 0.2 to 0.3% of the whole traffic into leads, which is still a massive
Yeah.
amount. It just depends on where you and
Yeah.
again, like these numbers are this what interaction here means is that someone clicks on the chat and
Yeah.
asks something, and then these are the average interaction rates in like small to large businesses. And out of those interactions into leads, it's something like around these numbers.
And do you know roughly, and I know this can be harder on your end to track, so I'd understand if you don't have like from the people leads come in there, conversion rate to like signed clients, like do you have data around that? I know sometimes that can be challenging because then you're getting into their CRM, their signed paperwork, stuff like that. But curious if you have anything like that.
We see every third lead turning into either a buy or a sale, but of course it
Mhm.
depends a lot. If it's a buying lead, like meaning that someone wants to purchase a property, it will be much
Yeah.
less likely to turn because you will do that much more times. But
Yeah.
around sales leads, we see that you want to sell your property, we see that it's closer to 50%.
Yeah.
As long as you call fast.
Yeah.
As long as
And
you call.
yeah, I mean that's the big thing with everything, right? Is they still got to pick up the phone. That's like our biggest thing we see with leads we generate with clients is the agents who do really well with it, they're still picking up the phone.
Yeah.
That's a big piece. And do you find like do you get people putting in like we're thinking like rates of fake information? Because like let's for example, like Facebook lead ads, when clients are doing that to get leads, it could be 30 to 40% of the leads are fake. It's just like wrong fake phone numbers, fake emails, fake names. Do you like how are you looking at that from your end to minimize the amount of fake contact coming through?
From my perspective, you want every single lead always, and then you filter them after. So,
Yeah,
we have systems in place where if you have too many leads, we can filter. So let's say that you can only
yeah,
send, let's say during commercial, you can only send from non-Gmail, non-Yahoo,
yeah,
kind of places. But from conversion perspective, I want every single lead. Then you look at it and you throw it away. But
yeah,
we see that it's somewhere around like maybe two to five out of 100, something like that,
yeah,
which is like,
yeah.
We
That's
have also
pretty
seen
good.
cases where, for example, like you want when you ask for a phone number, you want that a validated phone number. Of course, you want
Yeah,
it to be the best quality, but people type in different ways, and if you don't allow like an open box with the phone number, people tend to get frustrated and leave. So you rather
yeah,
take it and identify and
yeah,
see how they've submitted it and make improvements as you go.
yeah. And I'm curious, like when you guys launched, did you initially have it changing the messaging based on the page, or was it the same on every page initially? Because that's one I like that you guys have, which is that it's changing based on the page they're on.
Yeah,
yeah,
should we open alone to know as an example? I think that
sure.
might be great. I could quickly
Yeah.
even run through. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is for people watching. This is one of the Canadian clients that they have. I believe they're based out of Montreal.
Yeah, so with this is basically an example that we've been doing for the last 5 years, and we have some very exciting AI stuff to show. Let's get to that in a bit, but this is what like has been like proven over and over again. So
Yeah.
what you see here on the right bottom corner is basically our a chat tool. So like I mentioned, like we've seen that like even though it's a pop-up, adding a tool like this increases conversion. It just works. So if I go through this flow now, let's say if I want to rent in what area, let's say downtown or uh, so everything, then you want to ask them a few questions. It's very click based. So you select. Don't worry, there's no commitment. You don't need to type. So Yarko, if you click on single family, maybe, and then how many bedrooms, we ask a few questions. And then so that's basically what's your a budget.
And you
Yeah.
you have previously asked like, do you get high quality leads? And there's like we have seen that 4 to 5 questions is the sweet spot that people start dropping off a lot.
Yeah.
And but if you just ask their contact details on the first page, then you get a lot of this like less engaged traffic. But again, like when we're talking about smaller boutique, when you don't have so much traffic, I would keep the questions to as little as possible and gather as many leads as you can. But when you're a little bit bigger, then you can start like making sure that your salespeople or the agents get the high quality qualified leads. And this, for example, when I have gone through this is a very highly qualified lead.
Yeah. So if you click on that, I think the next question is, yes, exactly. So you mentioned what your criteria is. So you're starting to become this qualified lead.
Yeah.
You leave your details, and this information goes to the relevant agent, a specific place in the CRM that you want, email, to WhatsApp, wherever. But now I'm sure like you have seen chat tools are very
Yeah.
similar. It's nothing very special. But what we do very differently is on the property pages and the individual agent pages. So if I am to open a very specific property, we can display any information that's on this particular property on the conversation. So that's to say,
I'm
hey, personalized.
I'm gonna swap between a few examples that show the same thing just to let you know so you're
Yeah,
not
sounds
getting.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like the idea is that like we can display any information that's on the property to say that, hey, I'm the agent that's responsible for this property. You can see my face. It's beautiful. And here's everything you want to know. What would you like to know? And that's when they can say, I'd like to schedule a viewing, or I want to learn more. I would like to get in touch with you. And that information goes directly to the agent. Now, you could have 1,000 different properties on your site. Every time you add a new property, this tool is automatically created for that new property. So you don't have to go in and manually click on anything. It's just very personalized based on that individual setup.
And
And
can
yeah,
it then route to that specific agent that like, is that's how it's working is when it comes through there, it's now routing to that correct agent?
Yeah, so it depends on the setup of the company, but we would
Yeah.
do it either based on email or, for example, we have the phone number here. So we pick up information from the page, we put it into the
Yeah.
tool. And nowadays, with the AI tools that we have, we also pick up all the information of the property. And you can also ask it any question about that
Yeah.
property, like why would I buy this? Like, where's the nearest school? All these
Yeah.
kind of things. And it will answer. And then the next question is like, leave us your contact details so we can, route you to the agent.
Yeah.
one thing I want to add here is also this is more bit Europe thinking, because in Europe and Asia, WhatsApp is massive. And I
Yeah.
know in Canada and in the States, iMessages are quite big. So with this example being from Canada, you don't see the WhatsApp button, but I know for a fact that, in Canada, there's a massive international community where first generation, I looked at a stat, it was over 25%. It's massive, right?
Yeah.
I think also adding that same WhatsApp button or iMessage is a very convenient way for the buyer, the visitor, to,
Yeah.
conveniently get in touch.
Yeah.
So
And
something like
yeah, have you tested, and I'm curious, like how many people click on WhatsApp at the listing pages you have versus the other options? Like, have you seen a much higher conversion rate when it comes to people jumping through to WhatsApp versus the other options?
the nice thing about WhatsApp is that it's just one of the buttons. Let's say you have three,
Yeah.
which are like sort of fake buttons. So you have get in touch, contact me about this property, and then WhatsApp me, which is it all does the same thing, but it gives an illusion of choice. So we
Yeah.
see it's pretty much 30, like pretty much everyone clicks on the same time, same times, all of them. But the nice thing
Yeah.
that when they come to WhatsApp, you will instantly get their phone number
Yeah.
without them even saying anything. So if they say hi, you have their details. So that's the benefit, and then you can take that information and put it into the system, and provided that we of course ask for permission in between. But that's the nice thing about WhatsApp, that every single conversation is a lead, even though if they just say hi.
Yeah.
That's good.
And the
I mean,
same thing on the SMS side.
it's very exciting, and there's always so many things to like talk about this topic. But
Yeah.
like one other thing is, when you usually go into a property page or a real estate website, you see this contact form traditionally, right? And that is basically one way how you can get in touch with the company. So what we're seeing is like the more you open up ways, because people like to get in touch with in different ways. Could be phone, email, chat. The more you open and give them more different channels, conversion increases. And that's something very nice about it.
As long as you don't like overdo it with pop-ups
Of
everywhere,
course, yeah.
things popping,
Yeah.
like keep it professional, smooth, and nice looking. And one of our specialties is also that we make these things like look like exactly the company's brand. And that's like one of our specialties, that if you compare us again to the big players in the market, it always Intercom looks like Intercom. So
And have you ever tested with, like, for example, when it pops up? Because, like, right now, for example, when you're on it, you'd have to click on it for it to pop up. Have you tested like exit intent pop-ups and different
yeah.
timing on things like that? And what have you found kind of works best from that perspective?
So for our own website, we have tested a lot. And for example, we have our new AI-driven box here, which is our new product, which is what we'll
Yeah.
be showing a little bit. But once you walk past it, for example, then we have our person in the bottom that pops up. And that's what
Yeah.
we do right now. But there's also exit intent. It depends a lot on the situation. And also you can do multiple pop-ups. So you can have one when
Yeah.
someone enters the page and one when they're about to exit. Um, we've seen that around 6 seconds has been our sweet spot, better than the exit
Yeah.
pop-up, because person reads around the website and they look a little bit, and then we say something. Because and then important is that if someone closes it, that next time they come, you don't instantly show the pop-up, but then you wait a few more page loads and then you show it again.
Yeah.
So again, keeping it less annoying.
Yeah, that's good. And like that's what I'm curious about because like a lot of companies now will say they have AI, but like there's not a lot of explanation of what that actually means for their business, right? It's just like they'll just say, so like when you guys are looking at adapting AI into the tool, how have you been looking at doing that?
So we have many, many, many examples. This is a little bit of our topic, but one which we have been seeing that creates a lot of value is that we have this. Let's say that this is a property page in this case. In this case, we're selling a Lexus, and we scroll down. We have our customized pop-up again, but then here we have an automatically generated AI generated text about this car that tries to sell you this car.
Yeah.
And this you could do with the properties as well, that you would have something that takes all the information, puts like the nearest school is, 400 meters away, and then you show something to the user and just try to generate a lead from it. And what we are seeing a lot of agents are doing as well is having their own sort of agent page, which is that they can share. And there's like a calendar, and you have AI. You can talk to the person, and it comes to their phone as well. And there's like an AI in between there, and there's a lot of nice things that we have been testing recently. And
Yeah.
one more thing here is, for example, on this chat tool, we can ask anything about this property, and then it asks you to send your contact details. So we could ask like, uh, this will take a second of time now, but the idea is that you can ask like anything. It can be in any language, and it will answer to you in any language, which is the nice part about the AI as well. And for example, if you have multiple languages, you can have like swapping between languages and automatically translating everything and this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, with like London, or for example, like the couple of customers we have in Canada, we use a lot of English and French. So
Yeah.
it nicely swaps back and forth.
Yeah. That's good. And so it'll just basically, would they have to switch the language on the site or will it detect whatever language they're putting in?
Yeah, so you can do both. So if you want
Yeah.
the buttons to translate, then it needs to be like based on the website. But like if
Yeah.
you go to serviceform.com and we have that box there, you can type in Japanese and it will answer to you in Japanese. Or here I could also like I typed here in English, even though the bot is in Finnish, it answered to me
Yeah.
in English. And
Okay.
that's something nice in these multicultural locations. Which, for example, we work a lot in Spain, and there's three languages, actually four
Yeah.
that we need to support.
Yeah. That makes sense. And then, by the way, for anyone here live, like if you have specific questions, they very happy to answer as well. So feel free to use the chat if you guys have any questions for them. And so what have you found? Like you also were mentioning the other day when we were having a call, talk about things that you have like some AI assistant stuff coming. Like what actually, can you break that down? Because again, like there's some people who like say they have AI,
Oh yes,
but then to
that's
actually
very
show what that means.
yeah. I get very excited about this part. So yeah, like now you saw what we have been doing for the last 5 years, and this year especially, we've been very much moving towards where the industry is going and taking AI into real estate. So like if you saw like the tools that we had, but if you're all now getting more and more familiar with the chat GPT, a little window of where you have the comment box where pretty much how you search is changing. Like you still go to Google for some things, but now you start going more into chat GPT. So with that, where we saw, okay, hey, here's how we can add this into real estate. So what we did was we pretty much productized it, where we took everything that we have learned with what we're doing over the last 5 years. Because like with this example that Yarko is going way too fast, but with some of these examples, the industry is going there. Lots and lots of companies are moving into a place where you have a very similar looking interface, like a chat interface, where you can ask anything about that particular company's main function. Hey, do this for me. So this is where we have also now created a fully AI first interface where you can talk to the website, which we did before, in terms of like a chat, but now we can also add voice to it, like literally talk to the website. So I think we have an example. Yeah. So here's what you have. So here's the news way of finding information on a real estate website where you can pretty much ask for anything and search for properties in one spot. So you don't have to go, looking at different places. Within this one interface, you can say, hey, I'm looking for a two-bedroom apartment or condo. I think that's the word, a condo in downtown Toronto. And that'll pretty much pull out all the results for you, and you can start browsing there. And if you say, hey, I am looking for an agent in this particular area who can help me, you can pretty much start looking for information without having to browse through hundreds and even thousands of different pages on the website. And this particular conversation, you scroll down, it follows you around. Wherever you go on the site, it's there as an assistant. And it's all driven with AI and basically our interface.
I almost want to try a website that has nothing but like a ChatGPT style bar on it and just see how
Yeah.
the results are. Like you have to have a few prompts to like start the conversation. There are a few questions here I can answer. I can start, but you guys can expand on it for sure. Like one there, if your brokerage isn't a customer of this program, is it attainable for a single agent? So this is one, Marissa, and the reason I wanted to talk about this one is like, I was actually really interested in this part is like, yes, they have brokerage level ones, but then they also have a pay per like conversation option where it's like very low fee. I think it was like a buck Canadian-ish per
Unit.
like conversation that it has with you. So like again, it's kind of you can do a pay per use model on top of it. Yeah, so you can see here 99 cents per conversation that happens there. So I found that that was pretty interesting. But yeah, then they obviously have the larger packages as well if you have a lot of traffic and there's need for it.
But
But I do like that pay per conversation model.
We do both now
Yeah,
because we have companies with a lot of traffic, like tons of traffic, and if it's like 99 cents, they wouldn't want to pay so much.
yeah,
So they keep asking for like a flat fee. Hey, can I get something that, it's predictable? But then on the other end, we also have like websites with a little traffic. But you still want to have those more modernized tools which you can offer for a website visitors to engage with. So
yeah.
so in those cases, the a pay as you go model is very good.
And could you set a cap just because like I know one of the things would be like, well, what if someone comes on and just starts doing a lot of conversations to cost me money or something? Like, is there options to limit for people who that could be a fear?
yeah, so don't worry about that. Like a conversation in this case means that someone has given a lead, which means that some kind of end result. So either they have like gone through your chat and is redirected to your contact form or leaves their details. And if you need that someone has spammed you, just write in the chat in our bottom corner and we'll make sure that goes away. We are very, very like value driven. Like if you are not getting value, we don't want to charge you. So
Yeah,
like, and that's but twice nice. You can see our face here as well. So
yeah,
yeah, but you can cap it. You can
yeah,
put you can put like a max fee there. But uh, and again, like talking about individual agents, I think there will be, if you have a small website, you are expecting maybe 20 leads a month, something like that, then you could pay around that 20 Canadian.
yeah. Yeah. That's one that I like because like so many programs it's not set up that way and I like that it's per lead. Essentially that comes through because that's a pretty solid one. Um and then I know the other one which when we were talking about it, you guys also have built a lot of free tools for people. Um you want just kind of I'm gonna put the link for people. So if you're coming in here, especially if you're starting lower on a budget, but you want to kind of take advantage of some of the stuff, I put the link there in the chat as well. They've built just a lot of free tools that you guys can use and put them on your site. So feel free to take advantage of those as well.
And
Um,
feel free to also
yeah,
create an account and make an account and play with play with the tools as well. But these are
yeah,
like something you can share with your potential customers as well in some case. So let's say that you want to give them a very generic mortgage calculator or a property valuation tool or these kind of things. These are something that you can share and use as well. And if there's something that you want, feel free to request for us. We'll be making these kind of things.
Yeah,
yeah.
like if you have any exciting little tools that could help you in your day to day, and if you could easily make them, we are all in.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I appreciate. Like you guys are very available and open to trying things. Like we were talking, I know there's a few people here who come to Taylor and I show every Thursday. And I haven't even told you two yet. I chatted with Taylor earlier. He's open to being the guinea pig. So what we're gonna do, I'll connect you with him shortly after this, and we're going to bring them on and basically set it up on his website, and then we're gonna bring them back a month or two after and actually share the results of like what that looked like, leads that have come through on it, and how that's gone. Because it's always good when you can, show exactly what happened and be pretty open about it, which I appreciate. So again, if people have questions, oh, I saw this one here. Is this an independent website, something you can add? Yeah, you can just add it to your current website. Like that's the main. I don't believe you guys actually offer websites on their own, right?
So
Like this is,
no,
yeah.
maybe one more thing. Like there's
Oh
always
yeah.
like one more thing. So
Yeah.
so we do have that like a little website option. Like think about if you need a profile that you want to share
Yeah.
for your friends, or if you don't have a website for yourself, you can also use something like this, which we have made, where pretty much you put your details and it creates like a mini website for you, which you can then share. And the pricing of that is the same. That if someone converts a conversation, has a conversation and you get a lead, then it's the pay per lead model. But yes, we don't do
Yeah.
websites. So
Yeah.
this is more like a personal sort of like a
Yeah.
calendar slash profile, and then you can create
Yeah.
it. It's nice. You
Like
can
Yeah.
our
share.
specialty is like once you have the traffic, let's say you're running ads, you have your organic traffic. Once the people are there, our specialty is we convert them into leads,
Yeah.
buyers, sellers, agents who wants to work with you. That.
Yeah. And that's one I always like want to make sure people know as well, is right. Like if you get a tool like this, you still need to do things to get people to see the tool and drive people to the website. Because I've seen a lot of people who like buy a website and like, oh, I haven't gotten any leads. The website doesn't work. It's like, well, you haven't done anything to send people to the website. It's like tools like this, you still need to get people to see them. I see single agent website providers, Realty Ninja. Listen to I know the guys at Realty Ninja well. If there's any issues, I'll connect Ramen and them directly and they'll work it out. But I can't imagine that'll be hard to
Yeah, I
get
don't
on
see why.
there. Yeah, size with agent locator. Yeah, it'll definitely like similar to Realty Ninja agent locators because it's like their own custom backend. It's not like WordPress or Squarespace or something. You should be able to do a code injection, just get it in, I would assume. But again, similarly, I know Addo very well at Agent Locator. If there's an issue, I'll connect them directly with Addo. Confident they'll be able to work it out though.
And
Um,
there's also like if you have like Google data layer on your website, or if that's too
yeah,
technical, yes, it works on your website.
yeah, perfect. Yeah,
It,
and then it's just they're asking for price details again. So if you want to share, it might be easier to share your screen. And
and
then we have
Wix
another.
works as well. We have maybe 150 Wix customers as well,
Yeah,
and any Squarespace or all of the WordPress, all the basics are covered. We have a
yeah,
WordPress plugin as well. You can just plug
yeah,
that in.
yeah. And then one, I'll put the link in the chat because this is what they were telling me before. Is if this is something you guys are interested in, fill out the contact, and they'll actually jump on Zoom with you. Um, Talk to you about how it could fit into your website, and they'll do it with you.
Yeah,
The
we don't
nice,
So
need
nice
like a
thing
long 1 hour call. We can just have like even a quick 15, 20 minutes and go through it and see what your situation is and then say, hey, what would be the best fit for you? And then
yeah,
just make a recommendation.
And the nice thing is that if I can see your website and I can see your traffic, I can tell you instantly how many leads you will get. It's just the numbers. So
yeah,
it's quite simple, and that's nice to do in the call as well.
yeah. And have you found, and maybe this, I don't know how much you guys would have tracked this, like traffic source by conversion rate. So like, would you see like traffic conversion rates by like Facebook or social media traffic versus Google traffic versus email or things like that?
Yeah, so we do see from our backend, we do see the conversion rates of everything that happens on your website as well. But if we
Yeah,
want to go very deep, then we would have to plug in your own forms into that.
yeah,
But yes, we do see everything like where the leads come from. And then you can also, if you want to do marketing campaigns,
yeah,
marketing campaigns, you can
yeah,
also create audiences. Like let's say that someone just clicks on I want a property, you can add that into like a Facebook audience and remarket to
yeah.
them. So those
Perfect.
kind of things as well.
Uh, Perfect. We'll receive a copy. Yeah. So once we're done, I'll upload the recording to YouTube and we'll make sure that gets everyone who registers for this, we'll send it out. Any special discounts for those attending this seminar?
We are running right now like a 30-day try it for free kind of thing. But
Yeah,
of course, it needs to make sense so that if we are spending a lot of time on our side, then
yeah,
uh, but that's the offer. I think if the pricing is very fair, you'll get a lot of value
yeah,
for it.
yeah. Like I would do the 30-day and then like at the beginning, unless you have a ton of traffic, do the pay as you go option. I mean, if
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a buck a lead for someone that might not have become a lead before, it's
like
kind of
that's
a
always
no-brainer to
like the
me.
perfect way to get started, and we
Yeah,
don't do any lock-in contracts ever. I mean, if you're not
yeah,
happy, if you're not getting the value, I mean, I don't think we should work together then.
yeah. That's how I operate, so it works out well. Um, are there any other questions for while people are here? Because you got them both here. This is the CEO and the CTO. This is the best time to ask any questions you have. And like I was saying, if you come, we'll have to sort out a date that we're gonna have them on. But we're gonna bring them on an episode of the Leads Are Shit with Taylor and I, and we'll actually kind of get this up and running on Taylor's site, and then we'll come back about a month or two later with the actual results of it. So we'll kind of show you what that's resulted. So we'll kind of start you with here's what the baseline is, and go from there. Do you suggest an amount to spend every month on ads? Depends on your
That's
budget.
the easy answer. Easy. No, it
Yeah,
depends how much money you want to make. So,
yeah, yeah.
but
Like I would spend like if it was me running ads, and again, I with our clients where we want them to spend at least 500 to 1,000 a month, but like that's also to justify our fee when we run ads for clients. I would typically say like you probably want to spend at least 300 a month to drive traffic to your site if that's what you're doing. But you can also do things organically. There's other ways to drive traffic without spending money on ads. So it's just getting people to your site, however that is. But then make sure you set a like I know like anytime you're going to set a product like this, baseline where you are today before you install it, right? Like how much traffic are you getting today and how many leads do you get from your website? I mean, if it's zero leads, then that's a pretty easy one to start with. But you kind of want to see what that lift actually is so you can actually kind of test it against something. What is the conversion rate to get qualified leads? Which platform is best? Facebook, Instagram, or Google? I mean, it depends on what you define as a qualified lead. And then Facebook and Google, you'll get more like further down the funnel, closer to the transaction. They'll be more expensive. Facebook and Instagram, you'll get way more people. Typically, they're further back in the process. But have you guys seen like on your end data on that from like coming traffic source of, they convert at a higher rate, better rate?
it depends so much on like, are you a boutique agency selling in a certain location, or are you like, it depends on the advertising thing, and those are things that we also touch on in the meeting. So we have done this work with a lot of agents, so we can also
Yeah,
like a little bit. That's not our business, but we can a little bit talk about how it works for other people. But
yeah,
like you said, Google for the ones who want to buy straight away, Facebook, Instagram more for the higher end on the funnel, and then you get much
yeah.
cheaper clicks.
When we sign up, it's as easy as an API key. I have someone building a
We have
site
a
for me on
very nice
WordPress.
a
Yes.
WordPress plugin as well, like two different ways to install. It's very easy.
Yeah, yeah,
If he charges you, then don't be happy with that. But it just if we can do it together.
yeah, yeah.
So
I
all you
assume
need is
any
to
WordPress
the
site is super
website.
easy. Yeah.
Yeah, like all you just need is like access to your own website, and you're good to go.
Like I'm assuming mostly for most people, it's just copy paste a piece of HTML coding into the site, and that would be it, right? Yeah. So for anyone here, like if you have ever installed before like conversion APIs, a Facebook pixel, that's literally just like copy paste something into a header code. It's not hard. You just need to know where to do it.
It's like
And
three lines of code, just copy paste,
yeah,
save, done.
yeah. And then in terms of like the customizing it, typically how hard is that to do? Like because you mentioned like make it look like the website, do all that. Like how much work is put into the setup for that, or is that like an AI thing doing it automatically?
So we have nowadays we do have an AI that you can type that make it. This is my website. Take the logo, take the colors. So it does that automatically. But then you can just
Yeah,
change the colors as you want. You can change the like the border radius.
yeah,
Do you want it to be circular? These kind of things.
yeah,
Like
But
the
we have a
design
nice
is
template.
pretty much 5 minutes of work. It's just click,
yeah.
click, click. You pick your colors, you put your logo, done. You're good to
Yeah.
go.
And where we are based out of, we're actually in London right now, but we have a team that will be able to take care of you at any turn of the day. So that shouldn't be a problem. But now it's 6 p.m. for us, so morning would be ideal.
Yeah.
For example, let's say if it's in between your 9 and 11 or 12 p.m. in the morning hours, we are more than happy to take a call, even from London. And we do have a nice team that's, operating on all sorts of hours, because are based in different locations. So that wouldn't be a problem either.
Yeah. And then we have a question here about integrated with the IDX feeds. And then where it says Pillar 9. Pillar 9 is, I believe, the Alberta IDX feed. And is there an extra fee? Have you guys built out the any IDX integrations
So
for the listing data?
we have done everything in Europe. So now we
Yeah,
are new in Canada. So you need to tell us the feed and we go hunt for it. And ideally,
yeah,
there's no extra feed for you, but we probably can take the information from your website. So if you
yeah,
already have some integration, we can probably use the integration that you have done. We just like
yeah,
scrape the information from your site. But for the search, like which I showed that you can type like I'm looking for this kind of house in this budget in this range, then we would need a feed. So that is the if we go into the deeper the search, the bigger, cooler cases, then we would need the property
yeah.
data, and then we can do all kinds of nice AI things with it.
Because the main one just reads what's on the screen, right? When they go to it.
It does read yours like a bit. Let's say that you have less than 100 properties, it will be able to
Yeah,
figure that out. But if you have like thousands or you have like the whole feed of if you whole feed of Canada in there, then we would need
yeah,
to put that into a separate
yeah.
system.
So Ronnie, like they can integrate pretty fast with IDX if there's a specific feed you want. But yeah, like that is something that we have talked about with them during this was to look into that. So like we were telling them to prioritize the create DDF and then obviously Treb and then adding in the Pillar 9 and stuff like that.
And the same goes, I would say, for like CRMs, if you use something very specific that is in the market. Again, we have done like everything in Europe. So I would say we also have a few that we've done in that's in the US and Canada. But if there's something very specific, it's quite easy as well.
Yeah. And you guys have like a Zapier integration already, right? So like
Yeah,
that'll
all the
get you.
basic HubSpots and
Yeah.
pipe drives and Zapiers and all the things that you could the basic ones are covered.
Yeah. Sounds good. So for people say, is there any specific things you'd want integrated with that they could look into and add in? Because again, they do seem to move pretty quick on stuff like that. So I think you guys will be in pretty good shape that if they don't have it today, it wouldn't have to be that long till they could have it. So is there anything specific you're looking for?
If you
Um,
share that information with us, you are practically like teaching us something new, and we're very learn.
Yeah. This is again, like I mentioned, like one of the reasons I've liked working with them is they are very kind of involved that way. So it's good. It's refreshing when you can do that, work with people like that. So it's fun. But what we'll do now is if there's no more questions, we'll kind of start wrapping up. I'll put the thing in the chat again. So if you guys do want to book a call with them to see about getting this put on your website, literally just book a call 15 minutes and they'll kind of walk you through if it's a good fit. And if you have any questions, reach out. Oh, question, where's the lead information stored?
So we use Google services. So it depends on where you're located. If you are in Canada, we use the North American ones. If you're in Europe, we use the European ones. In the UK, the UK ones. So closest Google storage to you is what we work with.
Sounds good. And so we'll send out the replay and I'll include the link in there as well. But if you guys again have any questions, certainly reach out. And then if they want to reach out to you guys, is that page the best one for them to do it? Or are there other places where they can reach out directly?
I think that would be a solid place. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, or
Sounds
if you
good.
just
Like one link.
if you just register on the website and start creating, we'll see you as well, and we'll probably give you a nice non-sales email.
Sounds good. All right, appreciate it. So thank you for joining us today. This is good. So if you want to check this out again, it's kind of a cool product here that we can get on. I would start with the, if it's just, solo agent, small team, start with the pay-as-you-go option. Definitely, because I know there's some broker owners here. If you're looking at that, talk to me about the brokerage option because there's some cool options there as well. But appreciate everyone taking the time to spend with us today, and we'll chat soon. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew.